welcome Harrison Hacks.
Hey guys, welcome back to Harrison Hacks. Today this is my anniversary episode, 1 year on YouTube. It's also my birthday today, so I want to share this with everybody. Basically I'm going to do a gameplay video here. I did a poll on my Patreon page, and everyone voted, and we ended up, the winner was Super Castlevania 4. So that's the game we're going to play today. I have it muted, of course, due to copyright. So basically, this is going to be a gameplay slash channel update, and I'm going to get right into it, and we're going to start the game, and during gameplay I'll discuss some upcoming things that I have, some ideas, and we'll go from there. So I'll just put my name in here. This is a great game, by the way. I haven't played this in a while now, so I'm pretty pumped to play it. There we go. So I have shot this video already, but I had a copyright strike, and I think I had the volume super low, so now I have it muted. There's no volume at all. So hopefully no more copyright strikes. First thing I want to talk about is I've got some controller updates that I want to do for you guys. I've got new controllers in. So the X-Arcade Tank Stick I have. And I've been messing around with it here and there, and it's decent. I've got a little bit of issues with mine. Some of the buttons have like a vibration to them, like a vibrating feedback. I don't think that's correct. I've not reached out to X-Arcade yet. Even if I did, I'm so far away from them that the shipping would just be too much. I'll just have to figure it out myself. Hopefully it's an easy fix. It could just be, you know, user error, because I did have to modify some things within MAME to get it to work correctly. I never know how. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so that's basically what I've been messing around with the tank stick. The other controllers are the Hyperkin Cadets. I've got an update video coming for you guys with those, and I'll talk about those. I have the Retrobit Dogbone NES controller. So I want to do an update video on that as well. I have Retrobit Atari controllers. So the reviews online are not good, from what I've read for those, but I like to figure it out for myself. I mean, I got them for so cheap. Normally, if it's expensive and the reviews are you know, majority negative, I won't buy it. But I got them for such a good deal. I think I paid like $5 each Canadian or something like that from Amazon. So I picked up 2 of those. And I don't have an Atari 2600, but there's a guy on Kijiji here, which is like Craigslist, if you're not familiar with Kijiji. And he has an Atari Flashback 2 for 20 bucks. So I was like, nah, 20 bucks is worth it. If I can do some controller testing with it, you know, it might not be the best. It's an AtGames product, so it's probably not the best emulation, but just to test out controllers with it until I can get an official Atari 2600 for a decent price. The other thing I have is the Retro Fighters NES to NES Classic Edition controller adapter. So I'm going to have a review of that. I did an unboxing for a lot of this stuff already, if you guys want to check those videos out. But I want to do some updates. I put some time, especially into the NES controllers. The Atari ones will be an unboxing, and then I will get to an update on those once I put some use into them. I like to get a feel for them and then, you know, discuss their longevity, pros and cons that I find, you know, stuff like that. And then I have also Mayflash N64 to USB adapters. I got 2 of those. Picked them up for like $7 each Canadian on Amazon, and then they shot back up to like 20, I think, or 20 something. So I picked those up. I like to have the 4 ports, especially for if I could make a mini N64 once once the Tinkerboard, I mean, they've been doing amazing work with the Tinkerboard. The guys working on the RetroPie for Tinkerboard, and it's not official RetroPie. It's just a couple of guys doing it for, based out of passion. Like, they're doing it for everybody. It's come a long way. They put a lot of work into it, so it's looking good. So I want to get a Tinkerboard in the near future, and hopefully make a mini N64. Until Nintendo, if they decide to release an N64 Classic Edition, it'll be the best route for me. I can still use official N64 controllers. I could use the N64 Brawler controller from Retro Fighters, third parties as well, but that's why I got those adapters to make a mini N64, just in case Nintendo doesn't, which I hope they do. What else do we have here? I bought a CRT television off of Kijiji as well, and I paid 30 bucks Canadian for it. Now, what I really wanted it for was, it is a CRT, but it has HDMI. And so it was one of the first TVs with HDMI input. So I'm going to be putting a video out very soon, but I tested my SNES Classic on it. And it looks amazing, because you're playing the SNES Classic with CRT, and it's not like fake CRT, it's not scan lines, it's not filters or anything like that. It's legitimate CRT. So what I like about it is it gives me that awesome look that I'm looking for, and it's real. There's no adapter in between, so it's not like you're like HDMI to AV, because those are, from what I've seen, I watched Rock Solid Productions, and he's got a couple videos on those little adapters, and they just don't look good at all. They're totally not worth the money. I've never seen one that's worth the money. And Rock Solid, he's great at reviewing products and giving you the pros and cons and stuff. So I definitely take his word for it. And from what he's shown in his videos, yeah, it's not something I was interested in. Especially when the adapter wasn't much less than me buying this television, and now my mini Super Nintendo, my mini Nintendo, even Xbox 360, whatever HDMI consoles I have, oh man, they're all going to connect to this TV and be legitimate CRT. So that's pretty cool. The other thing about that TV is I've got a bunch of testing that I want to do with it as well. So I will be doing a video and telling you guys, like, the model of the TV, the make and model and all that stuff, and then if you're interested in it, you can go and pick yourself up one used, hopefully, because they're no longer in production. But sorry, I'm just trying to focus on this guy here and not lose. There we go. Got him. More vintage collection packs are definitely on the way. Working on those, and they should be produced quite frequently. I'm trying to get as many systems as I can. All the ones, I double check everything before they're uploaded to make sure that they're good to go. All the artwork and everything is matched up, and just stuff like that. The other thing with vintage collection is I plan to definitely get some more themes rocking for it. For anyone who doesn't like the current theme, you can go ahead and check that out. And since I'm talking about front ends right now, I do want to purchase the license for Launchbox Big Box. The only reason I haven't yet is, I love Attract Mode and it's free. Now, Launchbox Big Box is a phenomenal front end from what I've seen. I've used just Launchbox. I haven't used the paid version yet. But I think it's time to spend the money and see what all the hype's about, and see if what it brings to the table in comparison to other front ends. I've heard that Hyperspin is potentially going to be overhauled and get a little more user friendly, which was nice to hear. So hopefully they do that, and I can get into more hyperspin builds. Um, and then there's also a track mode build. So like the big one, HyperPie PC. So those guys, version 2 is out now, and those guys put a lot of work into HyperPie, and it's an amazing front end. Um, Based on a track mode, same as Vintage Collection is based on a track mode. So I've got HyperPie PC version 2 right now, and there's already people out there with videos, and you can check out those guys' videos about HyperPie PC version 2. I am thinking about doing some how-tos with HyperPie as well as Vintage Collection. One that I'll do for sure is how to use the Vintage Collection packs with HyperPie PC. I'll do that so that if you prefer their front end over mine, but you like my packs, it'll all be interchangeable, and you can go ahead and do that. So that's something I'll definitely be shooting in the near future. Um, I'm doing a build for my son, and it's called the Titan build. And what it is I'm using Dwayne Hurst. You may know him better as Hursty, who does amazing themes. And he, I believe, was part of the HyperPie team, and he works a lot with David Marty, who made Motion Blue, and things like that. Just phenomenal work that they do. I was chatting with Hursty a little while back, and I had mentioned that I wanted to use his comic crazy theme for a build for my son, but I was missing the artwork for a couple of systems that he did not incorporate into the theme. And it felt like, I think it was 15-20 minutes, because he said, would you want those? And I said, yeah, that would be great, sure. And I didn't expect it. 15 minutes later, he's like, okay, here's the pack. And he gave me all of the artwork and everything to just drop right into his theme and get up and running with those systems. So he does amazing work. Seems like a really, really good guy. And my hat's off to him. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel as well. Um, he does amazing themes. Um, the other thing that I want to talk about, well, again with the Titan build there, it's basically a kids game. So nothing crazy. Just a bunch of kids games, as many as I can. Um, and I just wanted to incorporate the Comic Crazy theme because it's really, really well done, and my son really likes it. So incorporate that into the Titan build. Um, what else am I have here? So I've taken 2 road trips this year. One coming up in May. I'll be in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area, and there we go. And so I'm going down there with a friend of mine from work, and we're just cruising down to do some shopping. I expect to hit some retro gaming stores. He collects like Marvel figures and things like that, so he's into that kind of stuff. So we're going to see what we can find down in Pittsburgh. Um, and then on the way back to Canada, we are going to stop in Ohio, and I'm going to hit up a Micro Center. So I've never been to Micro Center. We don't have them in Canada, but I know you get the Raspberry Pi Zero for $5, which is the price it should be everywhere. Um, so I definitely want to get myself a Pi Zero, another Pi 3, as well as some Tinker boards and some other DIY stuff. I know they have a big DIY section in their stores. I've looked it up, and I want to check it all out and see what I can come up with for the channel. So I plan to shoot as much as I can. Hopefully the retro gaming stores will allow me to shoot in their stores, and I can give you guys a little inside info on certain stores and some pickups that I grab from those stores. The other trip that I'm doing is with my family, my wife and my sons, and we are going to Oak Island in Nova Scotia. So we're gonna solve the mystery. No, we went online the day of the tickets going on sale for the semi-private tours. We wanted to go to Oak Island and get the semi-private tour, and their site crashed. So we were clicking reload the page between the two of us for over an hour and 20 minutes, and finally I got it to go through, and I got a confirmation email, but they hadn't taken my payment yet, so I was still like, oh man, they might cancel me. So my wife called, and they said you should be able to put your your thing through now, and your tickets are guaranteed. So we based our whole trip around these tickets. So we got them. We're heading to Nova Scotia, down to Oak Island, Mahone Bay, in that area. And definitely, we're driving down from Ontario, Canada, so we're gonna hit a lot of retro gaming stores on the way. I mean, we've got Ontario, we've got Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. So I'm gonna head as many as I can, and again, try and capture as much footage as possible and show you guys the pickups and whatnot, and just share the experience. Um, and the other thing is, my wife and I are talking about doing a video podcast show. Try to do weekly episodic, but we're gonna see. I mean, life's hectic. We both work and we have two boys, and I commute quite far every day. But we're trying to make it a weekly episodic show, and it's called Harrison Yaks. So my wife came up with the name, little pun on Harrison Hacks, Harrison Yaks, and we'd be talking about retro gaming, but also retro music, movies, TV shows, and even current things. I mean, talk about our family life and the funny experiences that we have, especially with having two boys, as well as things in the news, and give our opinions on them, and so on. So that's definitely something we want to do. My wife's still a little camera shy, so we've got a mini blooper reel so far, which is pretty funny. And yeah, so we've got to get her over the being camera shy, and we'll be good to go there. Um, but it'd be nice to do something. We banter well, and I think it'll be a great show. I think people will enjoy it. So we're gonna give it a go for sure. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that is the channel update. All those things. I mean, I'll do a quick recap right now to tell you what's going on. So I'm just gonna pause the game to do this, and I'll just do a quick recap here. So basically, we're gonna be doing the video podcast Harrison Yaks, and that'll be my wife and I doing our own little podcast show. Definitely going to have some controller updates as well as some unboxings for new ones. Same with adapters. I've got a couple adapters now that I want to show you guys. Very soon you'll get the SNES Classic and how it looks on the CRT television through HDMI. It looks really good. I love it. And then I want to do some more things with that TV as well, and test other things, and see how they look. Definitely the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to be connecting to that, and when I get a Tinkerboard, I'll work that in there as well. More Vintage Collection packs, of course. Vintage Collection is going to be an ongoing project of mine. It's at the forefront, so I try to work on it as much as possible with the limited free time that I have. And I'll give you guys a little preview of the Titan build once his build's complete. He's pretty picky, so I got to put whatever games he wants. 6-year-old, he's pretty picky. But no, I kid. He likes a lot of different games for different systems, so it's going to be cool to have him help me figure out his build and complete it, and to his liking. And then also the HyperPie PC version 2, as I mentioned, I may be doing some how-to videos for those guys. Not for them. I'm not affiliated with them, but I mean for their build, I may do some how-tos and stuff like that. I haven't really dove into it. I'm so crazy busy with Vintage Collection that I haven't had a chance to dive too much into HyperPie yet. But I will be diving in fairly soon. For sure, you're going to get a video on how to use Vintage Collection packs with the HyperPie PC version 2, so you guys can look forward to that. And then the road trips, definitely going to try and get as much footage as I can. If I can get into the stores, they'll let me film. I think it would be great for them, because then I would be showcasing their store, as well as all the products they carry, and a little publicity. I'm not a huge channel. I mean, I'm pushing 2,000 subscribers. It's very small on the radar for YouTube, but I can't believe I'm here already to almost 2,000 subscribers in a year. I never thought my channel would even make it this far. I thought I would just be a guy putting out a couple videos and then not really getting views and just kind of tossing it aside. But it's actually worked out really well, and I really enjoy doing YouTube. And I appreciate all the feedback, all the I like all the likes, the dislikes, the comments, the subscribers, you know, the patrons, anybody who supports my channel in any way, shape, or form. I am grateful to. So thank you very much, all of you. Um, you know, as usual, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, have a good day.